welcome to the Astro College Weekly Weather, your astrological forecast, and your horoscopes for the week. This is October 3rd through the 9th, 2024. My name is Jennifer Barish, and I am just thrilled, pleased as punch, to be your guide through the weather this week and to help share tips and tricks to help you get through the week. You know, it's just like putting on your raincoat. It's like getting out your umbrella. When you know the weather that's headed your way, then you get a chance to know how to respond to it better. And I think that helps all of us. For me personally, I have an Aries moon. So if you know anything about Aries, it's a fire sign. I have a little bit of a temper. Would you have ever guessed that about me? Well, I do. And so knowing the weather helps me to be able to keep my tendencies to be going too fast, being impatient, being in a hurry, having a big emotional hoo-ha. It helps me level that out and know when the energy is working with me or when the energy is working against me. And it's like, Jen, self-control. Okay, it's time to get control of ourselves. And we have a little bit of both this week. So how are you doing after that eclipse? Whew, it was a lot. I was just like wiped out yesterday after the eclipse happened. I was exhausted. I don't know if it was the buildup of thinking about what all could change. However, this eclipse was really close to my Pluto, my natal Pluto. And so I know that it is activating the Pluto in my chart. And anybody that's near my age, so let me tell you about this. Pluto moves very slow, okay? I am 48. Anybody who is in their mid-40s to their mid-50s has Pluto in Libra, very close to where this eclipse happened. And I talked about this a little bit last week. But that means it's close to this eclipse happened conjunct or next to your natal Pluto. Okay, what does Pluto stand for? Well, Pluto is where you have control issues. It's where you take charge of your life. It's a deep, dark, hidden topics. Some people call Pluto the hell realms. It's where all of the dark, the ugly, the bad can come up in our life, but it's also where we overcome that and overcome those challenges and say, here's how I'm going to rise and here's how I am going to go above, any problems in my life. So for me, the eclipse happened. I'm a Sagittarius rising. The eclipse happened in my 10th house. I like to use the Placidus chart. I don't know what chart you're using, but so that's my house of work and career and public life. So I knew that this eclipse was going to come through somehow in my work, and it's not completely clear yet. I feel like I am super busy. Being a Sagittarius and Jupiter in Gemini, I have lots of different jobs that I do, lots of different roles. Included in that is being a mom. I still have a high schooler who I help get back and forth to school, so sometimes I'm a chauffeur. I bet you didn't know that I'm also a college instructor, and being here at Astro College, and I'm a yoga teacher, and so I wear lots of different hats. So anyway, I'm telling you this because this eclipse is coming through somewhere in my work life. I am going to be taking charge or taking a more important position, or really getting control of things. So notice where those themes come up for you if you are in the mid-40s to mid-50s age range. But for everybody, this eclipse happened somewhere in your life. And if you go back to the last video, I talk about, based on your rising sign, where that eclipse came through or will be coming through. And it may not be happening yet. It may be starting to just form up, okay? and just be like, over the next few weeks, an eclipse can have 3 to 6 months before it actually impacts us. But this one's in Libra. So we have to think about Libra themes, thinking about partnerships, relationships that we're in. Where are, if your Pluto is there, where are power struggles coming through? Libra is also about finding our balance and finding our equilibrium. Libra likes beautiful spaces. They want things to be nice. That is the person who sugarcoats things so they don't have to give you the bad news, right? So they want things to be peaceful. They are the peacemakers. So where are you looking for peace in your life? Where maybe you sugarcoating things for others or even for yourself, not ready to admit that things are maybe a little out of control right now? It's okay. It's eclipse season. Things are supposed to be a little out of control, right? So this eclipse has been a lot, and we are now kind of coming off of that high, and we have some nice supportive energy to help us. So let's talk about the moons for a minute. Along with the eclipse was a new moon. So we just started a new moon or a new moon phase cycle. And so we're not yet to first quarter. Obviously, we're still in that new moon part. And by the weekend, that moon will have shifted into Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpio is a sign that likes to dig deep. There's an intensity to it, a real focus to be able to get things done, and it enables us to be able to go into deep emotional depths, okay? So if that eclipse triggered something in relationship for you, there might be a real heart-to-heart conversation that you need to have, or something that, I think about like conversations with parents where sometimes there are topics that we avoid, right? That we just don't go there because you just can't say certain things to your dad or to your mom. This might be the weekend where you are actually able to say it and say what you need to say. So, some of the things to watch for this week. Before we get to the weekend and that Scorpio moon, we do have some support. We have Venus, who is a benefic, trining Saturn. Saturn is a malefic, but Saturn helps us to get our stuff together, okay? Saturn helps us to get organized. Saturn calls us to the carpet and says, are you doing your due diligence? Are you following the rules? Do you have a plan? He says it's time to get a plan. And this week, Friday and Saturday, we're going to have that sense of, do I have my plan? Do I know what's happening? Have I made my list? Well, when Venus is trining Saturn, that has to do with your passion projects, what you love, who you love. It can be your business. It can be your work. It could have to do with your money, how you make money. But this transit is really good. They're trining, and that's like flowing. It's fluidity. Things are working. It's harmonious. It's stabilizing, okay? It's going to bring a balance between these two areas. You're going to get a structure. You're going to feel more responsible. And with that Scorpio moon this weekend, you're going to get that extra shot of responsibility and really take serious those heart-to-heart conversations. Saturn is also the planet of long-term commitments. So maybe you're going to be committing to something. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a project, but you're going to be feeling a little more responsible, a little more like, yeah, I am dialed in. I am willing to go the lengths. I want to make this happen, okay? It also represents a maturity. Saturn brings a maturity to our Venus stories. You say, Jen, what is a Venus story? Well, any heart-to-heart, like deep heart relationships that we have with other people. It could be a mentor. It could be someone who feels like a bigger sister or bigger brother to you. It could be an aunt or an uncle. But somehow or another, we're growing up a little bit. There's maybe something that we have been in disagreement about it, and this Saturn trining Venus is going to help us find some harmony and talk about it, deep conversations talking about it in a really mature way. It's going to give us, what else do I want to tell you about? It's going to give us a view of where we can see loyalty in our life. It's going to show a focus on who we can trust. Since Venus moved into Scorpio, she's been a little distrustful. She's been kind of like, yeah, I'm a little suspicious. I'm looking for something, the next shoe to drop, for something to go wrong. Have you noticed that since Venus went into Scorpio last week? Of things being a little like, yeah, I'm just waiting for something to screw up. Okay, well, so with this Venus trining Saturn, it's going to allow us to see who we can count on, who we can trust, and where the loyalty actually is, where we can rely on things, and where people are being responsible to us too, okay? So it's a nice energy. It's about slow and steady progress. When Venus is trining Saturn, it's about patience, and it's about finding something good about stability. Sometimes we can get bored with stability, right? I mean, you have your life all worked out, and it's like Groundhog Day. You get up to go to work, to go to bed, to get up, to go to work, to go to bed, and maybe your partner, it's the same thing. In my house, we are watching Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy every evening, and sometimes it feels a little bit old, right? But you know what? That is also a routine that we have learned to count on and to depend on, because usually after that in my house with my husband, we walk our dogs. So we turn on the TV, and those are the shows that are on, and maybe we're eating dinner, maybe I'm cleaning the kitchen, and then we walk the dogs. And it's just kind of this thing that we do together, and it can be a little bit boring, right? But it's also stabilizing. So I want you to think about some of those routines that you have in your daily life that maybe you're a little bored with. Try to see the beauty in them, because, you know, these are the pieces of our lives, these little small memories that we make for ourselves, with other people. Sometimes it is with our little pets, you know, and one day our pets will be gone, and we will miss having been able to take those little walks. So try to find the beauty in it. Okay, so that's Friday and into Saturday. Well, along with this, on Saturday, we have a transit, so I'm glad we have a little positive energy, because now's where the self-control comes in. We have the planet Mercury is at a 90-degree angle with the planet Mars. That means they're in a square. Okay, what happens in a square situation? You bump your leg on the edge of a table. It hurts, okay? So Mercury is the planet of communication, and Mars is the planet of action. So Mars is wanting to act, and Mercury wants to talk about it, and sometimes they don't mix well, okay? So what is this transit asking? On the high side, it's asking you to speak your truth. Don't blame, don't judge, don't take the easy way out and argue with somebody. Say, we're going to talk about this in a more mature, bringing in that Saturn vibe, a more mature fashion. We are going to have a debate. We are going to be able to see both sides of the conversation. But what I want you to do is to move in your truth. Use your actions to reflect what your intent is, okay? And what you need out of this conversation, this almost argument, this conflict. You need to be able to say it how it works for you. You need to be able to beat to your own drum. But just a word of caution. You also need to be careful with your words, because Mercury is sharp, okay? This can be an aspect known for fighting words, disagreements, arguments. Mars is a malefic. He is hot. He loves a good fight. And Mercury is sharp, slick, fast, like a gunslinger, but with words. So this is the energy. You know, it's out there this weekend. You want to make sure that you're ready for the throwdown. Or alternately, you're not ready for the throwdown and you don't even want to have the conversation. When people get political, step out of that ring, because this could be argument energy. And I grew up with country music, And as Kenny Rogers said, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them and get out of there. So that's what I wanted you to think about over the weekend. You know, if you can't handle it in a mature adult way, and not just you, that other person, if they can't handle it and you can see that, just get out of there. Don't have the discussion. Postpone it. Postpone the meeting. Postpone the appointment. You can do it later. You don't have to do it this weekend. Okay? So then another thing to look for is also over the weekend, we've got Venus trining Mars. Okay, well, when Venus trine Mars, that is Venus, the feminine energy, with Mars, the masculine energy, and they are working together in harmony. So if sometimes you feel a little more masculine or you feel a little more feminine, both of those sides are going to be gelling for you this weekend. And so this allows you to more than before speak in your truth. I said speak your truth. You're going to be able to do that. But it's also in relationship, making a little more harmony, repairing problems, having heart-to-hearts. And this is where our heart and our will actually get to meet together. So that is a good aspect and can actually help us. And it also makes us a little more intuitive. So you might notice where you can sense that somebody else is getting fired up even before they do. And that's when you can just withdraw. Just remember that. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And that's the way you're going to get through conversations that could be hard this weekend. Okay. So then we're going to move into next week on Tuesday, October 8th. We have Jupiter coming to save the day again. Thank goodness. So after what could be a gunslinging, OK Corral battle, we have Jupiter trying to help us out and throwing us a little planetary bone. So Jupiter is trining Mercury. Okay, so that's a positive aspect. That is flowing. That is harmonious. That is happy. We're all getting along. We're saying nice words. We are positive. We are boosted, uplifted. When Mercury is trining Jupiter, we are forward thinking. You're going to be able to see the bigger picture. You're going to be able to see the bigger plan, what's coming next, expecting the best. You are going to be positive about the future and positive about the plans that you're making and seeing the best outcomes for everybody involved. So, having said all that, Jupiter is like Santa Claus. He brings us gifts, but he also brings us too much of the gifts sometimes. So it could give us the gift for gab. Watch for gossip. Watch for overinflation of promises, like promising more than you can deliver on. Jupiter can cause us to overdo it a little bit. So we don't want to overbook our calendar and say we can do 5 things on Tuesday when we can only do 3 of them. And, you know, we could be taking on too much, so be sure you dial it back a little bit, and also your social calendar, and make sure that this is something that supports you, your health, your mental health, and your ability to be able to do all these things. Because whenever Jupiter is in Gemini, it's like multiples of everything. There is lots of good things. There are lots of good opportunities. We can see lots of different directions we can go. But we have decisions to make, right? We have to have some discernment. And this is a choice point on Tuesday. We have to make some choices about things. And I want you to think about what choice you can make that serves you the best, that makes you feel the best, and helps you to walk in your truth the best. And then you're going to feel good about that choice. So, you know, Mercury is trining Jupiter on the first part of the week. So you're going to be feeling that Monday through Wednesday-ish. And really, it's kind of our last chance at big growth and big picture thinking, because then on Wednesday, Jupiter is actually starting to slow down in the sky, and he's going to go retrograde just like Mercury retrograde. Now, don't freak out. It's not exactly like Mercury retrograde, but the fact of the matter is that Jupiter is taking a step back. He's looking at that calendar, or asking you to look at that calendar, and all the ways you have overdone it and overbooked and multitasked yourself. We need to get our excesses in check and under control. Jupiter is going to show us where our enthusiasms have become too much and could be harming ourselves and others instead of helping. Where we have just really overdone it, and we get a chance to reset our expectations of ourselves and for other people, and realigning our goals to something that's realistic. So you may find that over the coming weeks that some of the big ideas that you had, you've got to bring them down to earth and bring them more into something that you can manage practically every day. So I'll give you an example. So I am working to start a brick and mortar yoga studio here in the Cincinnati area. And so if you follow me here in Cincinnati, I'm coming. It's going to be soon. But, there are a lot of pieces and parts that go into this project. And we've got builders, and we've got designers, and we've got architects. And so, I think Jupiter is going to say we need to slow our roll just a little bit, and we need to take this step by step. We can't do everything all at one time. So, it's going to be the first project, which is getting all the approvals so that we can do the build. And then the second project, which is going to be working on the outside of the building. It needs siding. It needs new windows. So we're making it safe on the outside. And then we're going to move to the inside of the project. And we've got some construction to do. And you have to do your construction before you can paint, before you can do floors, before you can decorate. And so when you have a big project like that, it can be very exciting, and you have all these ideas and you want to do all these things, but you have to take it step by step by step. And so I just give you my example because I want to encourage you, whatever you're working on in your life, don't give up. Just know that Jupiter is asking us to look at where we're a little excessive and where we need to get things back in check. So those are things to watch for this week. One note I want to make is about the moons. So I had told you that we are going to have over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The moon is going to be in Saturn, in Scorpio, and the moon in Scorpio is a water moon, and that's going to be a pleasant moon. It is, the last aspect is with a sextile to Pluto. And that's coming back to that, I think, a little check-in with this eclipse point and saying, where is the harmony? Where are you taking control of things? Where are you focused in your life? And being ready to make those changes. So thinking about that over the weekend. And then Monday and Tuesday, that moon moves into Sagittarius, a fire sign. So it fires things up. It gets us excited again. And you're going to feel very energetic. You're going to feel like taking on a new task. That's also that Jupiter energy. So while you've got Jupiter trying to help you out there before we go retrograde, when Mercury is trining Jupiter, we're going to have the support of that moon. So that's going to feel really good. It's going to be uplifting and help you have some giddy up and go on Monday and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, that moon is going to move into Capricorn, or I think actually late Tuesday night. But on the East Coast here, you'll really feel it on Wednesday and Thursday of next week when that moon moves into Capricorn. And that is an earth sign. That is an initiator. So that's helping us to get our work done. When the moon is in Capricorn, it is a very productive time. We can get lots of work done. Capricorn is that mountain goat who is climbing the ladder of success. So notice all your projects. If you start making a list now, by we get into the end of next week, you are going to be accomplishing lots of things and getting them done, checking all those things off of your list. So I want you to look for that. I think as far as how the moons feel, probably the Scorpio moon this weekend is the one that's going to feel the most pleasant of all. It may not feel as uplifting as that Sag moon on Monday and Tuesday, but there's just something about a Scorpio moon that helps us get into a little truer version of ourselves. We get more like in touch with our own desires, feeling more, of how we express ourselves. We're able to, Scorpio likes to uncover the truth. Scorpio is a seeker. He is going to go in. So many Scorpios are surgeons, okay? And they can go in and they can get right into the bones of things. They can get way down deep and dig into the details and get to the heart of the matter. And I think there's something about that that's going to feel really cathartic over the weekend and feel, have some soothing quality to it, especially in relationships. So even if you get caught up in that, Mercury Mars thing and there are harsh words, I think there's something still really good that can come out of that for you. In that you get to the realness, the real feelings, the soul level feelings where, it's a heart to heart at your deepest depths and you're really speaking from your own truth. I think that's what this weekend can bring. So those are like 5 things to watch for this week, friends. Now let's move on to the horoscopes. So, let me get my notes out here. I like to go by rising sign. I think it's most accurate, and I do use Placidus houses. I know that many people like to use whole sign, and that's cool too, but they might not line up exactly the same way. So, I'm just saying that if you run your own charts and you're trying to get the energy lined out for yourself this week. So Aries rising. So this is signifying some intensity in relationships for you this weekend, which is just what I've been talking about. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. He's the one that takes charge. He begins the project, all about new beginnings. So while Venus is in Scorpio and we've got that Scorpio moon, it's going to stir up some deep emotions for you, Aries. You may find yourself craving passionate, transformative connections. Superficiality is just not going to cut it. You're seeking intensity and depth in love and conversation and relationships with others. And this transit may reveal some hidden themes, some feelings about things. Something comes up that you didn't know, or some hidden desires in partnerships. So I want you to be looking for that and thinking about Scorpio. Look up all the qualities of Scorpio, Aries, because that's what you're going to be experiencing this week. Taurus, this is about deepening commitments. As your ruling planet, Venus, also being in Scorpio, challenges you to dig deeper into your relationships. You might feel more possessive or protective of your people and those that you love, but it's a time to focus on being trustworthy or trustful of others, expecting loyalty and being loyal, and also looking at where you share resources together. Where do you share things with this person? Whether it be you share a car, you share a home, you share a bank account, learning to work together and watching out where we might have jealous or skeptical tendencies or possible manipulative little control issues. This is about deepening your commitment to another person, and that can be in a love way, that can be with family, brothers or sisters. It can be with your adult child. It can be with a coworker at work that you are learning how to trust each other and able to work on projects together. Whenever you've got a really crucial deadline, you really learn who your trustworthy people are and who you can count on in a crisis, on the work front. And so maybe something of that flavor is coming through for you this week, Taurus. Gemini. So Gemini, you're going to be focused on self-improvement this week. Your focus is on your health, it's on your wellness, it's on self-care, it's on daily routines. You are going to be really thinking about how to improve things for your well-being, for your mental health. So what do you need to do here? Do you need to make time to go to yoga class? Do you need to make time just to have downtime and have nothing to do? Is your calendar too big? Are you too overbooked? And you may even be really thinking about starting a new fitness plan, or you're looking at how to transform your habits. It could be some eating habits, or maybe you're trying to quit smoking. Maybe you've been drinking too much on the weekends. It's time for you to get some of those things in check. And so you're going to be focused on your health, on staying well, on building your immunity. We are coming into the winter season, so maybe it's time to go get your flu shot, Gemini. Those are kind of things that are going to be coming up for you. Cancer, this week you're going to be thinking about romance and passion, your love life, and also all things that are creative. You are in the mood for deep soul level connection. So romantic gestures, emotional bonding. You may be going to get your sweetie some flowers or doing something nice for them. It's just these connections are going to be coming through really powerful for you. And if you're not in relationship, it could be an artistic project. We can be an artist of many things. We can be an artist of cleaning our desk. We can be an artist of decorating for the season. There are lots of ways that your creativity can come through, Cancer. It could be you're an artist in the kitchen. You love to bake. You're making Halloween treats or seasonal treats for the kids. There are lots of ways that your love and your passion can come through in ways that you like to spend your time. So I want you to think about that and looking for ways to make those connections in your life, Cancer. So Leo, you are thinking about themes of home and family and roots. Deep emotional roots. You may feel drawn to deepen emotional ties with others, or you may become more introspective about your personal life, about your connection, and really thinking about, I'm thinking Ancestry.com, thinking about your lineage, thinking about your ancestors, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. Where did you come from? Who are you? Maybe you need to do a 23andMe study, one of those genetic tests to be able to see, what country you originated from. So there's something about your roots that keep coming up. And also confronting family dynamics that maybe aren't so easy to do. So thinking that Mercury-Mars square, there could be arguments in the family this weekend. So I just want you to notice there's something unresolved and something that you've got to dig into that has to do with themes of home and family and your roots. Virgo, this week is about intense conversations, okay? Communication. You have a laser-focused communication. Just your ability to see and dial into details, that's coming through in your words. And they could be sharp with that Mercury power. Virgo, you are ruled by Mercury. And so any aspect that Mercury makes is going to hit you like a lightning bolt. And so you definitely have to be careful of not being too critical this week, because you are honed in on relationship issues and being able to communicate in deep and meaningful ways. So surface level stuff, nuh-uh. That is not going to work for you. You are not playing nice this week. You want to get to the heart of the matter, especially when it comes to love and relationships or things having to do with your money, because we're talking about Venus here, and Venus being in Scorpio. She is saying to you, notice all those details, but let's play nice. Let's be kind to other people, and let's be kind to ourselves, because our expectations sometimes are a little higher than what other people's are, Virgo. So even though you're ready to dig in and to get into those themes and intense conversations, just take it a little bit easy. You can notice it and just not have to say it. So this would be a time when I would edit my words just to make sure that I am extra kind to others. Libra. Libra, this is a week of looking at your money, your resources, looking at all of your possessions, and you are thinking about financial security. So I don't know what's been coming up for you, but there is something to do with money here, Libra. You are Yeah, you have been playing nice guy for too long. Maybe you have been doing extra work. Maybe you have overdone it, helped out too much. I can think of a Libra I know that watches their grandkids all the time. And so they're always helping their kids and they're always watching these babies and it's her grandbabies and that's wonderful. But she never quite gets paid for all this work that she does. And so this is maybe a time to dial it back so that you can take a part-time job. Or this is a time to say, I'm always doing for you. I need you to help do something for me and ask for, some a little cash payment so that you can start yourself a bank account. So you're going to be thinking about financial security and savings and shared resources. And, what do you really value in your life? And maybe you say, well, you know what? I would watch my grandbabies because I value my relationship with them more than I care if their parents pay me or not. And that is valid. That's true. It's just, I want you to be thinking about where maybe you've been giving a little more than you've been getting. And it's time for you, Libra, to bring that getting back in to your side of the equation so that you are being treated fairly and equitably, and it is okay for you to speak your mind about that. So feel empowered, Libra. Scorpio, you are in a time where your intensity is being magnified. We have this moon and we have this Venus in your sign, Scorpio. So, the planets are working with you and your normal magnetism, you are just on fire. This is your time to shine in matters of love and attraction. So if you're trying to win somebody over in any kind of way, maybe you're a salesman, the answer is going to be yes. You have a winning quality to you this week. So if you need to have a discussion where you need the answer to be yes, Scorpio, do it this week. You may feel more confident, more transformative, just powerful. You are ready to take on the world this week. You just need to be careful where you might be a little more manipulative, a little secretive, where you're not being as up and up as you should be. And a little more possessive than normal. So you've got to be open-minded and you can't control everything. I know, Scorpio, you think that you do without anybody knowing, but sometimes they find out, so you can't be so controlling. But you do have just this magical magnetism this week, and the answer is going to be yes. So make your ask. Sagittarius, we're looking at you this week. You're going dark a little bit, like with this new moon. Venus in Scorpio is going to be in your hidden sector, in your private spaces. Kind of not in a dirty way, but like in your attic, in those hidden spaces, that is going to make you a little more introspective about relationships. You may have recently been burned by somebody. There may have been something where somebody did you wrong and you are kind of going internal, Sag, and trying to figure out how did you get yourself in that place. Okay, all this Jupiter energy is going to be helping that too, because you are ruled by Jupiter and showing you, especially as Jupiter goes in retrograde, where you need to get yourself in check. Maybe you always think the best of other people and they don't always deliver. And so this is a time for you to go internal and get for real, okay, and really see things as they are. So you may find yourself just healing from emotional wounds, from past hurts, or reflecting on, things from the past that have come up, or wrongs that have been done in the past, things that you have felt hurt about, and you just need to kind of noodle on it. So this is a week of like mental noodling. You are just kind of thinking through all this stuff and thinking through how you got yourself to this place, to today in this situation, and maybe how you want to move forward in the future. But you're trying to just like let your emotions get caught up with the actions of the past. So it is okay to take a break, to go read a book, to do things that are quiet and alone and sedentary, not like your normal self. We have a grand water trine setting up this week, lots of water, which for Sagittarius has kind of a dampening quality, but I want you to use that to really get in touch with yourself, and so that you can kind of settle with, this is where things really are. And that's the answer. Yes, this is where things really are, and we have to accept it, and we have to use the lessons of Virgo and say, we're going to pick up the pieces, we're going to make a new list, we're going to figure out how we're going to do it next. And maybe that's next week. Maybe that's not even right now for you, Sagittarius. Maybe you're still just kind of reeling from what all has transpired this fall, what all has happened through the eclipse season, and now you're just trying to get settled with it. So take your time, do what you need, do self-care, go for a walk, get out in nature, do things that feel soothing to your soul, Sagittarius, and you're going to do much better next week. Capricorn, this is a week where you're going to be looking at friendships and social circles and groups you're in, maybe at a gym, maybe a social setting, maybe some type of networking, but you're going to be looking for where the deeper connections are that are more meaningful. You know, you may have to start making some choices about some things, Cap. It may be because you are a realist. You see things as they really are, and you may be a part of some groups where you don't really see eye to eye, okay? And you're going to be craving deeper conversations, deeper relationships, and able to have more of like a heart-to-heart connection with these people. So any group that you're involved in, Cap, that you don't feel like it's simpatico, that you're on the same page, those are not the groups for you, okay? I want you to think about, who do you really bond with? Where are there the most transformative experiences? And where do you get the most emotional support? Because those are your people. If it's not meeting those three things, then those are not your people. And it may be time to think about getting out of some of those social commitments. Aquarius, this week is about career. You are ready to make some powerful career moves. Aquarius, you might attract powerful allies or influential people who help to transform your professional life. Your passion for your career goals are going to increase, so you're going to be thinking all about the job, all about the profession, all about the money, and you're going to feel more motivated to work hard because you can see the way forward. That Jupiter energy is letting you see the bigger picture as we get into early next week, and you're going to be thinking about, okay, the things I do now are going to equal long-term success later. And let's not forget that Pluto is in the last stages of Aquarius and transforming so that he can move on, or in the last stages of Capricorn, so that he can move on into Aquarius. And so Pluto's going to be moving into Aquarius later next month. And, you know, you're going to be ready to go. It'll be go time then. So right now you're making those allies and connections and alignments and networks so that you are ready when November comes and Pluto goes into Aquarius for the next 20 years. It's going to be time for you to just take off. So think about that. And then Pisces, this is going to be a week of spiritual and intellectual growth for you. You are going to be wanting to learn something new. You're exploring new philosophies, possible spiritual practices, maybe digging into some new cultural thing. Maybe it's just you're going out for a new kind of food. There's a new Turkish restaurant down the street and you want to go and try the tabbouleh. You know, go and try that new experience. It's going to feel good to you, Pisces, just to be out and about. You are drawn to mystic experiences, which you have always been, intuitive and esoteric, transformative type of experiences, you are seeking knowledge. So if you are interested in astrology, in mediumship, in tarot cards, into oracles, whatever that could be, it's a great time for you to start a new practice of study and dig into something new that's going to help your personal growth. So many of these things, Enneagram, numerology, they can help you get into touch with yourself a little bit more. And that's what Pisces is looking for, are those mystical experiences. And maybe, Pisces, you don't even know you're looking for those experiences. So I just want you to be open. Okay, this is a week for you to be open and see what's out there. See what catches your eye, what kind of classes, what kind of cultural experiences, what kind of potential travel for next year is coming up. Something that just catches your fancy, because that is going to be the ticket for some new growth for you. Okay, friends, we've done all 12 signs, so that's what's happening for this week, October 3rd through 9th. I'd love to hear your comments. Please go and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us to grow it. And keep in mind that we have a horary class starting here in October. It's a deep dive, but it's for beginners, so it takes you from the very basics of horary. And you're like, what is that, Jen? That is a type of astrology where you can actually ask the chart questions. So you get to ask a question and the chart is going to answer it for you. And it really does work. It is so cool. So this is a great class to get into. You can go to astrocollege.org and find more details and see how to sign up. So have yourself a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye.